myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? How about that? Great start to the show. Good news. We're just starting. Good news. In fact, that's great news. Some would say it's the best news. I thought when I started, it was awfully quiet. I said, boy, it's awfully quiet. But we're back. We're ready to go. Big card tonight, you guys. So get ready. It's a monster. We're fired up. Trying to bounce back from yesterday's debauchery. Good Monday, bad Tuesday, down about a unit or so, trying to make it back. In fact, we did make it back. Shout out to our premium members, those that are supporting us at a higher level. We appreciate that, and you're welcome. Catch that PSG under play of the day today, this afternoon. Good stuff. No sweat. No sweat bet. 0-0 at halftime. I don't think they scored until the 85th minute. So it's funny. I was talking to Sub. I was like, you can tell. When they give a VAR in like the first 5 minutes of the game, you can tell that game's going under. And bang! Cashed it just like that. Glorious afternoon on the pitch. Considering I had that night a parlay. Same game parlay, but the same game parlay did not come through. It was a little sprinkle action, but one goal too many in, was it the Barcelona game? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. I know we cashed that spot there. We got another premium play that's out there this afternoon. Make sure you pay specific attention. Some of you guys reach out and ask me, is it the Asian line? Look, that's the line. That's the price. And I'm always happy to answer that for you guys, but compare it. Use that as a benchmark. You know, the play that's out there for the 6:30 start. We don't rush around with pre-gaming. We're not trying to rush these plays in there because they just never seem to work out. So we're giving ourselves plenty of time to get that action in, and it's a parlay. So appreciate you guys that are supporting us at a higher level. That means a ton. You guys are awesome. We appreciate you coming here, building this community with us, and helping us keep the lights on when it comes down to it. We leverage tools, technology, and expertise to help everybody make informed betting decisions. But them tools ain't cheap. So, we got them, so you don't have to. We'll share the information with you. That's the way it works between Ramon Scott, myself, the rest of the crew out there, and lots of plays out there. We got all kinds of action in play tonight. We've got some soccer plays for the sub club. There's there's one play for tomorrow, one play for the Europa League. We've got 3 best bets for the National Rugby League. That'll be still week 1 or round 1 or whatever they call it. I just know I'm 2-0 with them boys starting off that card in Las Vegas last week. There's 3 fights out there with BB MMA and Ramon Scott, who's running so hot, doing what they do. And of course, First Strike will be released tonight, finalizing the 4 bets that we are making already. I'll tell you, this looks like a great card. You know, not one of those guys that, every card's a great card. Anytime we get combat versus not, I'm in. If they start telling you, they don't like the card or it looks like a bad card, follow somebody else. You don't need that negativity in your life. Anytime we got guys wearing gloves, there's an opportunity for KOs, and those KOs can pay us plus 400, plus 500, plus 900, plus 1,000, plus 2,000, plus 4,500. You know the deal. That's what we do. Saturday's going to be a lot of fun. I believe we pop off around 7:30 because it's a little bit of a later card. It's UFC 313, and the numbered events are where we do it best. Going to be a lot of violence. Can't wait for it. But we have a live stream tomorrow night. Thursday night, we're back in the groove. We got Thursday action. Trying to figure out what we're going to start doing here with some March Madness. Moolah Madness, as they call it, as the kids call it. Moolah Madness coming up here. I want to do some giveaways. I want to do some fun things with you guys. So trying to figure that out right now. But hey, for tonight's card, again, lots of action. I added a spot on top of this meaty card already. And I don't expect it to change. I expect what we'll probably see is less NBA, more college basketball. This is that time of year. Some guys can bet 1 or 2 games in college hoops and feel pretty darn good about it, but there's just too much opportunity. I was saying this the other day to a buddy of mine. Between the conference tournament and then March Madness in those first 2 weeks, you've got so much opportunity to roll that cash over. If you play conservative, you're going to miss the opportunity. Doesn't mean you got to fire on everything, but hey, look, if you start with 100, you win that 100, you turn it into 200, you turn it into 400. You can turn that $100 into 1,000 just on Thursday. Then you roll into Friday, you can turn that 1,000 into 5,000. By the time the weekend's done, that $5,000 can be $20,000. I've done it. I'm telling you can do that. That's gotta get serious. You get in the lab, you scrub these lines, you get serious about what's going on with March Madness, and not many will take it more serious than I. So I think we're gonna do a bracket. I think we'll fill out a bracket together. We did that a little bit with the Super Bowl where we had the what do we have there? The player or the prop bonuses. The prop bonuses out there. So we'll see if we can do we've got plenty of options for brackets. I don't get too excited about it. I usually do a couple. Just kind of FAFOs, if you know what I'm saying. If you're picking up what I'm putting down. Tonight we got to pick it up, though. We got 3 hockey games and a slate of 5. We're going to get into the Capitals and the Rangers, the Leafs and the Knights. We're going to finish her off with Anaheim and Vancouver. And that's the spot. We will just call that the spot from now on. That is the spot. We will talk about the spot shortly. Then we're going to roll on. We're going to trade the ice skates in. We're going to pull out the high tops and we're going to rock that hardwood. We're going to go with the little Lemoyne, Central Connecticut State. Then we're going to roll on to Kansas State and Cincinnati. That's the one. That's the one. That's the spot. It's not the one. It's the spot. The one is UFC. That's the spot. Then we're going to go Florida and Bama. Excited about that game. We're going to follow up with another SEC battle. We got some intersecting zeros in Tennessee and Ole Miss. And we'll wrap it up with 2 NBA plays. More for sport. I know a lot of you guys like the NBA. I tried to. I capped the player props today. I had Tyler Hero to get over 3.5 threes. 10, 15 minutes ago, I see Tyler Hero's out. Son of a bitch. Just a waste. Just a waste of all that time. So, that's the deal. Not much to recap yesterday. It was miserable. I'll say this. Nailed that San Jose spot. Nailed it top to bottom. Split hog that SOB 6-2 final. Terrible spot for Buffalo. That was a horrible Buffalo spot. Horrible. Columbus got busted up. And look, we lost by the hook and VCU. The Devils game, sad to say with the Devils, Jack Hughes, their firepower, their thunder of the thunder and lightning combination out there will be out for the rest of the season. Looked like a shoulder injury of some sort. Jack Hughes, the firepower, the gunslinger, will be out for the rest of the season. 142 final on ULM-ULL. 139.5. That was an overtime game. Took the L in overtime. BYU beats Iowa State straight up. The positive was we finished tonight off big with the Los Angeles Lakers -9 against the Pelicanos. All over that spot. That was just a good spot. I would say a great spot. So let's go. It's time. You guys know the deal. Close that chat, hit that thumbs up button, and pop it back open. It's so important. It's the biggest measuring stick that you guys can help us with here is just taking the time. Yesterday we had a few extra minutes. Show ended super early. We won't do that again. Views by half. Exactly what I surmised would happen. So we won't do that again. We will butt rub until the butt is raw, because that's the way it works. That's the way it goes. So that being said, we do need your help, though. That thumbs up button lets YouTube know we're here, that we're doing this thing, that you enjoy what we're doing out there, and they in turn will help notify others that this is going on out there. And it's just good business. You know, we're trying to make some money, spend all the time putting these graphics together and getting the games together and getting the trends together and putting the tools together and getting the this, that, the other thing ready to roll. What we need you guys to do is close the chat, smack the thumbs up, then pop the chat back open, and we will launch this boat off the dock and get this thing rolling. All right. My YouTube page is up. Or my Twitter page. I don't know why there's a picture of Oreos with the pink frosting. Ugh. You guys ever had the pink frosting with the Oreos? Ugh. What's fucking wrong with you? It's white frosting. It's the chocolate cookie white frosting. That's it. I'm not trying to be a purist here, but what are we doing? The green and the pink. I've even seen the white cookie with the chocolate. No, stop it. It's a chocolate, or I should almost report this. Well, looks like a different thread. Okay. Shout out to the dickhead of the day. The dickhead of the day seems to be, let's double check. Yep. The Seattle Kraken. Well, I guess the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we talked yesterday about the Florida Panthers getting we talked about this as soon as it happened, the long-term injury report for Matthew Tkachuk and being able to bring on almost $9 million more in salary, a huge expensive player. Some would say Sidney Crosby, although I don't know that he leaves the Pittsburgh Penguins. At least not there. I think he wants to go to Colorado is the rumor. The Tampa Bay Bolts will receive Yanni Gourde, Oliver Bjorkstrand, and the 5th round pick in the 2026 draft from the Seattle Kraken. What did they pay? They already had Yanni Gourde. Keep this in mind. They already had Yanni at one point. They let his ass go. They're giving up the 1st round pick this year. They're giving up the 1st round pick next year. I'm sorry. Let me start that over. They're giving up the 2nd round pick this year, the 1st round pick the year after that, the 1st round pick the year after that, and Mikey Eastmont. Tampa Bay will not have a 1st round pick again until 2028. And Seattle and Detroit are going to retain half of that dude's salary. This is what we're going to start seeing this time of year. This is why it's difficult. We've got 2 days until the trade deadline. There's going to be a lot of late-minute scratches. There's going to be players that aren't on the ice during warm-ups that you're not sure if they're playing or not because they might end up getting traded throughout that game. There's an interest being expressed. They don't want to risk injury. They're just going to shut that dude down and move on to the next side of things. So we have to keep that in mind and sort of tread lightly here as we look at that, but trying to pick these teams that I think are positioned to go out there and strike, and that's the deal. So what's the deal? Pen and paper time, boys and girls. Get it out, get it ready. The best in the business are sharing their best bets, and make sure you put your plays in the chat so we can talk about them, recognize them together. Got to put the light on. Got to zoom this thing in just a bit. Okay, away we go. It's time. Pre-gaming. Joe T. Jover. He's coming at us with an over. Giving us the Caps and Rangers over 6. And the homer play of the day. He's got the Badgers first half minus 3.5. Tricky spot. I'll tell you. Minnesota made a whole bunch of parlays. But, Jover, we can both win. Badgers first half for Jover. And there I am. Commenting on Jover. Shout out to Joe Dub. He's cheers and he says, thanks for the PSG spot. Redbeard likes Florida plus 3.5. Is nervous about this one. I wouldn't be nervous about this one. I think the wrong team's favored, Redbeard. We'll talk about it. Joe Dub, Providence game under 144.5. It's 149.5. Joe Dub, 149.5. I know I was muted, guys. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hate to start like that. And then, when I move the mic around, sometimes it jiggles the USB thing, and then it shoots me into a muted mode. So thank you for commenting. Cameron Sinet, Paul and Boats. Let's go like and subscribe. Mikey, have you crossed over from Ken Palm to System? I don't use a lot of Ken Palm. I'm going to be honest. I'll look at it occasionally, but no, not for me. I watch a lot of games. I look at a lot of box scores. I don't need somebody else to tell me. But I do like the system. There's Dan. There's a rugby guy. Rugby league action overnight. Yeah. Who doesn't like wake and bake? Wake and cash, wake and bake. Wake up and get money. Whatever. Let's go. Gerald Jones, what's up? He says his best bet's now 17-10. And he's going to the Roos. He's got the Roos in the first half -3. I like that. I get down with some UNKC. Hey, shout out to Nanya. Just smashed the interview. Got the job running the farm for Southern Biotechnology Associates. Look at this guy. Let's go. And it's off work till Monday. Fuck the lumberyard. Your boy is outie. Let's go. Hey, man. The bridges you burn will light your way home at night, my friend. Just remember that. I heard that from a wise man one time. The bridges, I said, man, you really like to mess with people. And he said, just remember, the bridges I burn light my way home at night. I said, I'll never forget that. That's a unique, asshole-ish take, and I can appreciate it. Stop Geo's giving us some player props here with Klay Thompson under 17.5 points. And he's got under 9 of 11. That's what we look for. Averaging 13.9. That's what we look for. There's the opportunity. Shout out to Stop Geo. Thank you for sharing. Textiles is here. Nanya. He's got some of that positive momentum going here with the new gig, and he's putting together a parlay. Tennessee, George Washington moneyline parlay. Going in, baby. Plus 342. Shout out to Robert McCormick. Dana Delp. Brandon Whedon says, congrats, Nanya. Hell yeah, Nanya. Hell yeah. Do I got this for you, Nanya.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I forgot that it had the sports money comment there at the end, Nanya. That one was for you, my friend. Congratulations again. We're proud of you, my dude. Good job. Good on you, dude. Get that money. Big opportunity, it sounds like, too. Peter Gracia, he's here. He's rocking. He's joining us on YouTube tonight. Chosen one. Makes a little whiskey. About 6.5. I could have some whiskey tonight. None of his best job he's ever landed. Man, we're happy for you, brother. You're around on the regular. You're giving us best bets. You're positive with your feedback. Always contributing. You deserve it, man. Shout out to you. Good luck to you, my friend. I know you're going to do great. You're going to kill it. Certain companies here. Big Scott says, what's good, Mikey? Let's get the fucking money tonight. Plays I'm on or Michigan first half money line. Alabama first half -2. And the Blues money line. Big Scott, I didn't make it an official show play, but I added it. And it might make the VIP plays here later tonight. For all the reasons we talked about. First of all, who was it that doubted that Chicago beating up on the Kings? That was the fucking greatest call maybe ever. I don't know, whatever. I don't know about that, but yeah, the Blues very much. I like the under. My problem with the under, it's LA. It seems to get to 6 a lot. There's Skunk Blaster, Skunk Bag, 3-leg, parlay, NC State, Alabama, and Oklahoma plus 5.5. Shout out to Old E. Oh, no, he missed it. Dude, the early card was awful, but I hammered on a bunch of spots. I've been getting these little bonuses from DK as well, where they're giving me 20% live boosts. So I've been taking those, like the Blackhawks the other night at plus 275, put 20 points on it, and then banged it again. And I did it again last night with, who was last night's game? Was it Montreal? I don't remember. Joe T. I didn't say they're going to cover. I said I think they're going to win outright, Joe. I think they're going to win outright. Too much on the line for them. Mighty Ducks. Now you can win the first half, but I'm going to need that thing to be an outrighter. I didn't mess with the points. I just put them in some parlay. I got I did some money line parlays out there. So Stop Geo, Mighty Ducks money line plus 170. Peter Gracia giving the congrats. Gerald Jones, Nicholas Handy. Let's go. Peter Gracia says Lakers and over was huge. Yeah. Yeah, it was big. It was big. It was huge. Okay. All right, Jover. Since you got me talking about it, I'll throw it out there. I'll throw it out there in rapid pace. It's kind of a cascader. So I did a little bit of a round robin. A round robin here. You know, some days it's the flavor that feels you. Some days the flavor is player props. Some days, like today, the player feel is taking dogs. Maryland, Florida, Minnesota, Ole Miss, Utah Jazz, Sacramento Kings, Minnesota, Ole Miss, Utah Jazz, St. Louis Blues, and Maryland. I mean, those are some money line spots that I rather like. 100-1, Minnesota, Ole Miss, Utah, St. Louis, and Maryland. So just some extra thoughts out there. Let's go. I got plenty of plays. We don't need to get into the old fuck around and find out world here. We can just go out there and make some of these plays that we got right now. Okay. We're going to pop off with the Capitals and the Rangers. Excuse me. Charlie Lindgren is confirmed. Igor Shesterkin, likely first skater off the ice. Now, Lindgren being the backup, 12-10-3, but a .272 goals against average, 89.5% save percentage. Off the big contract. Shesterkin, 21-21-2. 2.86 goals against, 90.6% save percentage. It's not overcomplicated. We've talked about this before. When you're in conference, you're the home or you're the road favorite, you win, and you win a whole bunch. On top of that, the Capitals came back rusty as a dull knife from the Four Nations tournament. Maybe they got a few too many Ruskies on the team, and they were celebrating a little too hard on their time off because they weren't playing in the Four Nations tournament, and they wanted to thumb it to the NHL. But they snapped that losing streak. They beat up Ottawa 5-4. And Ovechkin, we're on alert. I mean, again, this dude came back like 3 days after he's broke his leg, and he's firing. He's trying to get them goals. The NHL wants that narrative. It's going to be Shesterkin that lets him get there tonight. Lindgren is looking to bounce back. He had 4 goals on 18 shots and a 5-2 loss to the Blues. So you got a team that just snapped its losing streak, getting back into form, and a goalie looking to bounce back. On the other side of things, the Rangers have outscored their opponents 8-0 in the last 2 games. Back-to-back 4-0 shutouts. Now, the way I approach this one is this is simply a step up in class for the Rangers against a team where Stella got her groove back. Pretty straightforward. Look at the pieces of shit that the Rangers have beaten lately. The Islanders twice, the Penguins, and I'm forgetting somebody. Doesn't matter. They're BOSs. You know what a BOS is? It's a bag of shit. And now they're going to play this Washington Capitals team who came in here as a slight favorite and have gotten action played on them from there. This is a Washington Capitals spot for me. I'm jumping in, both feet. I'm not even going to touch the pool to see how the water feels. I got it at -115. That's the current number that's sitting out there. I think it's great value. I think we can catch this Capitals team. They're a favorite for a reason, and we know what happens when that is the situation. We'll roll on. We'll keep it going. Short, sweet. There's Station Plate 211 Entertainment. What's up? What's up? Anonymous. I'm heavily on the Rangers here. Oh, no, Anonymous. Oh, no. Shout to Nook. There's Irish King. Washington. Yeah. I parlayed Ovechkin anytime goal with Ovechkin shots on goal and somebody else's shots on goal. Can't remember. But yeah, I think, Ovechkin, Trisha M pointed this out, said Ovechkin signed that cancer program deal, and every time he scores a goal, he gives a boatload of money to cancer. How do they not want this guy? I mean, they're just teeing him up to break that Gretzky record. Anthony Gallo, yeah, Lindgren also got the 3-year extension. So he'll want to show up. Yeah. I think it actually gives them relief, because they got Thompson and then they signed him right after. So they got their 2 guys. He had that bad performance, but he's got that weight. He shed that weight off his back. He's ready to go. Blake likes the Capitals for him as well. Some of these, just do the NHL better than probably anybody. So I feel pretty confident about that spot. And it seems like we're not quite a house divided, but maybe 70-30. Okay. I'm sure this will divide the house. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Vegas Golden Knights will pop off. Ottawa, Chicago, just a quick side mark here. You've got Linus Ullmark and Arvid Soderblom. Now, maybe the best call of the year was that Blackhawks Kings game. We already talked about it. Maybe it's not the best call of the year. But that new goaltender coming in, and he stood on his head. That's what Chicago needs, man. They got to get a little new blood in the arena. And they're live again. I don't know. I like the first period over again. No one's talking about it. Now it's okay. It was shameful when I had 18 in a row to start coming out there giving that as the best bet because everybody talked about it. It was due to bust a couple of times, and it did. But it's okay to get back in there again. It's fine. It's a nice price point right now. Minus 125s. It's fine. It's fine. It's not a good enough play for me, though. We're going to go to Las Vegas, and the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Vegas Golden Knights will pop off with Joseph Woll and Adin Hill. Immediately, before you even look any further, it's a pretty good goalie bet. 21-11, Joseph Woll. 22-10, Adin Hill. 4 overtime losses. He's really 22-14. 2.7 goals against average for Joseph Woll. 2.52 for Adin Hill. 90.7% save percentage for Joseph Woll. 90.6% save percentage for Adin Hill. Of note, Adin Hill's got 3 shutouts. Joseph Woll's got 1. So that goaltending advantage that you perceive just by breaking down those stats, not quite true. The better goaltender in this performance is Joseph Woll. And the Sharks, shootout loss to the San Jose Sharks are those Maple Leafs. Now, 2 weeks ago, whatever, revenge spot, Vegas loses to Toronto up in Toronto. Toronto just lost to San Jose. Pissed. Be the word. In a word. Pissed. You can't lose to the league's worst team and feel good about it. They have points in 6 games. They're 5-0-1, so that loss in overtime is a big stinker. And Woll's looking to bounce back. He did allow 5 goals on 34 shots in his last game. Still won. They still beat Pittsburgh. It was just ugly. It was sloppy. On the other side of things, Golden Knights, 2-game winning streak. The challenge, as we talked about, Shea Theodore, loss of a defenseman, big deal. And we're past that arbitrage spot where it's the first couple of games where without the star player. Now we're digging deep. However, the Golden Knights have not played a game since Sunday. So they're rolling in here rested. They've won 5 of their last 6. This is a battle. I'll tell you, if you think you're seeing goals in this game, you're mistaken. Goaltending battle. Playoff atmosphere. Revenge, rematch. Lots on the line for both of these teams. Austin Matthews is from around the area. Not quite there, Arizona, but probably should have some family in attendance. Look for Austin Matthews to go out there and fuck shit up. And Adin Hill's been playing great. I mean, he comes off there 25 shots with a shutout. But we're trying to get goalies in bounce back spots against teams that have been shutting teams out because we know what happens. The law of averages. They get scored on. Hill's been phenomenal in his last 3 games, though. 0.67 goals against average. 97.3% save percentage. Just because they're in Vegas doesn't mean it's going over. And I've heard some theories, Vegas Golden Knights, one of the best puck line teams at home. I get all of that. But the Toronto Maple Leafs just lost to the San Jose Sharks. I can't emphasize that piece of it enough. You want some other factors. When you were home and now you're the road dog and the line is less than a 140 and the other team's not on a streak over 5 games, those teams find themselves 27-14 if the last time they played, they beat them. Away dog, off a home game, small dog or favorite, and you beat them in the rematch opportunity the last time, 27-14. 27-14 says Toronto Maple Leafs. Put the boot to the ass and get the job done tonight. And it's good. It's a beauty of a price tag for it. It's a beaut. The price tag that we're looking at for this little nugget, we're staring down to plus 140. And it's still plus 140. Most of these plays I locked in a little. Well, I guess I didn't lock them in necessarily too late. But let's go to the third game. Last game on the NHL card. Shout out to Nasty Nate. It was tough, man. Yesterday was the first day with heat. I had a bunch of things going on yesterday. It was good. Shout out to Ramon, says Minnesota Timberwolves forward Randall upgraded to probable tonight at Charlotte. Anthony Gallo, Leafs money line, yeah. David Wallace in the house. What's up, David? Philly Eagle Flyer. What's going on, you guys? Appreciate everybody coming through here tonight. Let's hit this last NHL game. Lots of games. Lots of games. The Ducks and the Canucks. It's not a Duck spot. It's not. Let me just start off by saying that. Johnny Gibson starts. He's 9-10-2 with a 2.8 goals against average and a 90.9% save percentage. Now, we know the Ducks on the road. The Ducks just beat Edmonton. Everybody's favorite to win the Stanley Cup. Not my favorite. Everybody else's favorite to win the Stanley Cup. Kevin Lankinen will go on the other side. This guy has stepped up and been ridiculous with Thatcher Demko being out of the lineup. Thatcher Demko started the season out of the lineup. He's been out of the lineup, and Kevin Lankinen has been busting heads. 20-10. He does have 7 overtime losses, so he's 20-10-7. Still got points. I'll use it both ways. 2.64 goals against average, 90.4% save percentage, 4 shutouts. We know the scoring woes of the Vancouver Canucks. They've been outscored 11-5 in their last 2 games. When you're not scoring, you're getting outscored, you're losing those games. That makes sense. Lankinen looking to bounce back. 5 goals on 23 shots. That was a 6-3 loss to Seattle. Here's the thing. This is the revenge spot. This is the spot. We talked about it. The spot. 2 games ago, Vancouver trots into Anaheim as the road favorite. They lose. Now they come home. They're the home favorite. A, Exhibit A. B, Anaheim Ducks just beat the Edmonton Oilers. There's a tired leg fatigue factor. Exhibit C, Vancouver Canucks. First game back in a minute. Now, that could work both ways. At home, they're 11-17 against the spread. Doesn't strike me as exciting. And as a favorite, they're 13-13 on the money line. But look, the play for me on this one here is just, it's straightforward. We're looking at taking this Vancouver Canucks team in regulation. What do you get from the Ducks? You get a 5-2 win against Vancouver. That was at home. That was the favorite spot. Then they go out, they lose to Chicago, or they have Chicago come in, they lose to Chicago. They go on the road to the first game. This is going to be that little gauntlet where they've got to deal with Edmonton, Vancouver, Seattle. Who else is in that little shit conundrum of miserable hockey? Calgary Flames, the whole package, right? All kind of fall into that arena. And yeah, 1-4 in the last 5 for the Vancouver Canucks. Why am I bullish on this thing? Well, because of that second leg of the back-to-back. We have the rapid revenge situation that I love oh so much. And a team that's being undervalued right now because they're so poor. If they were playing the way they should be, this would be a minus 380 spot. The fact that it's down to minus 184 on some books is Disrespectful. Flat out disrespectful. I took it in regulation. I didn't take it in regulation as in if we lose, the juice comes down, just to clarify. I took it in regulation because I think they wallop these boys. I just don't know that they do it. I think they're up by 2 goals, and Anaheim's too stupid to know they're done. That's my opinion. They're on the road. For some reason, they get this false front of who they really are. And they keep trying right through that last 10 seconds of the game. They probably do something stupid to get the final whistle and their end of the ice, and they score a goal that pops it in there, and it ends up being like a 3-2. I mean, these guys, this does have a feeling to an under, especially because Vancouver's not scoring. I went to look at Vancouver's team total over 3.5. I didn't like it. And I think this does feel like a 3-2 final. Not going to lay the puck line. I got minus 113 in regulation. I think it's a tight game, given the offensive deficiency that Vancouver's had, but I think they are the winning end of this thing based on the fact that Anaheim just won their Super Bowl. And I like the goaltending advantage that we have in the net with Kevin Lankinen on top of that. So that's some hockey for you. 1, 2, 3 hockey games to pop this card off. What do you guys think? Gerardo likes Florida, Alabama. First half, under 85. I lean to the under in that game. I very much lean to the under in that game. Well, let's go. Let's roll up our sleeves. Let's hike up our skirts. It's prom night. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means at all. Okay. Bunch of games here in college hoops. And I added one that's not on this list. So we got to fire. We got to get moving. We got to keep it rolling. Holy cow. I love so much of this college basketball. And this is my favorite time of year for college basketball. Yeah, buzzer beaters, but we get a clear picture of who these teams really are. And what I know about this first game here is Central Connecticut State is it, and Lemoyne Dolphins are not. Small ticket count. Can't see where the line. I mean, it started at like 13. I think it's moved to 13.5. So no percentage of splits. Although, now that I say that, let me pivot over to yield alternate site and see what we have over here, just for a benchmark. Doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter because Central Connecticut should beat the absolute shit out of these boys. Think about Lemoyne as they're moving up into this conference. They're deficient on offense. They're not a very good team to begin with, albeit we've seen a bunch of overs. And I think they're just tired. I think they're gassed at this point of the season here. I've got Central Connecticut State to win this conference. I mean, I'm no hero. It's just the shit conference. It's MEC, and what are we going to do? I mean, now we've got 13.5. We got 90% of the bets on Central Connecticut State. And the line has moved now. There's a full point of movement out there from 13.5 to 14.5. Still a lot of 13.5 though. So this one's kind of moving just a little bit, but not entirely. Kind of a red flag, I guess. Not enough for me to worry. I'll tell you, from a trends perspective, we got some numbers. We got some data behind this one here. So I'll lay it on you. We got some intersecting zeros. Lemoyne versus a team that plays defense, meaning they allow less than 43% shooting. Lemoyne finds themselves in an 0-13 position when they're playing teams in that circumstance. On the flip side, Central Connecticut beats up teams. By the way, the margin of victory in that Lemoyne spot, 18 points. I think they're going to glad handle these boys. I think it's going to get ugly. On the other side of things, on the other side of the house, I'll tell you what, I was just looking at a game that popped off, not to be all over the map here, but I don't know that I think there's so many points, I think, for who you call it's there. Clemson. Sorry. What a dynamite breakdown. I think that's too many points for Clemson. For what it's worth. I look at Clemson's team total over. Anyways, the intersecting side. Sorry, I was sidetracked. Central Connecticut, 11-0 they find themselves when they're playing a team that averages more than 13 turnovers on a total that's greater than 127.5. After a game, they didn't have their finest three-point performance. 11-0. They're playing a team that stinks. There's a decent-sized total, and they're actually getting a buy low situation because they shot less than 35.5% from three. We got hooked on Central Connecticut the last time we took them. I think it was like 12 and a half, and they won by 12, something like that. I just remember taking the L by the hook. I'm going right back to them. That's what I think of Lemoyne. Not concerned one iota about these Dolphins here. 4-12 doesn't mean you're kicking ass. It means you're getting your ass kicked. And, 2 more years, maybe they'll be competitive in this conference, but it's going to take some time to attract new talent. They're going to have to build the NIL dollars. There's just a lot. It's not even a rebuild. It's a build up from the ground here for Lemoyne. And Central Connecticut's ready to fire after disappointment at the end of last season. They should come out there and literally put the belt to the ass. We're going to roll on to Cincinnati. This one is the spot. Jerry Davis, Central Connecticut has several first-half losses, ATS. I've been taking the points on the opponent and betting them at halftime. I remember you saying that the other day. I don't know about today. They're home. Jerry, I'm going to think about you when that comes through because I will probably look to live bet them at halftime unless the number's like 28, which I think it's a big number. Certainly a big number. I think I heard Ramon talking this morning on the Morning Steam about the over. Probably because Lemoyne just gets run off the tracks. And if they score even a little bit, it could push that number over the total. So a little tricky spot there. This one is another situation where we've got the spot. You lost on the road as a favorite. You come back home as the favorite. You're exacting revenge against the mediocre team in your conference. Cincinnati, stakes are high. They've been mediocre in the conference here. And this is the problem that they're going to have is they're going to be, if they don't win out, they're going to get a bad placement in the SEC tournament. They're going to end up having to get their barn doors blown off by like an Alabama. This line opened at 8.5. It has come down a little bit to 8s. 8.5s and 8s. You have 61% of the bets and 57% of the cash on Cincinnati. And the total's gone from 135.5 to 138.5. 73% of the bets, 72% of the cash on the over. I like the form Cincinnati's found themselves in. How about that? They're 7-10 against the spread, and K-State's 6-5 against the spread on the road. I'm sorry, that was a Cincinnati home stat. I mean, the under. What's not to like about the under? I like some under. Probably a good way to play this one is Cincinnati on the money line and the under like 145. Because you're buying it up those 6 points. Man, I've taken a couple of L's on the totals by like a 2-pointer or a hook. Somewhere in the hook, the 2-point range. So I've got myself considering some alternate strategies when it comes to that because that doesn't feel good. Prior to the Houston loss at home, Cincinnati's been playing very difficult. 75-63 against TCU. They cover this. I mean, they've been covering spreads like crazy. They don't cover the spread against Baylor. It was a 2-point game. They won 69-67. Let's not forget that one. Then they go into Houston. Hey, what was impressive is they got 64 points against what's Houston? Number 3 in the nation? Number 3, I think number 2 or 3 in the nation. Houston's beating teams up. But they were able to score. They were able to find the basket. So even though it's a loss, they still covered the spread, still had some takeaways, still put some points on the board. And K-State, on the other hand, is a losing squad coming off a big win at home against Colorado. Not the same Colorado. Colorado's been rolling through this thing 12-17 against the spread. They're 11-18 overall. They're a shit program too. Their advantage lies at home, not on the road. But yet K-State thumped them. They beat them by 9. They were laying 7.5. They got their job done. But we got that revenge factor. And the kicker here, if I'm not alluding to it enough already, is the under is so fucking relevant for this team that when you look at this K-State side of things here, they're going to find themselves in a bad, K-State can't score. They can't keep up. And Cincinnati is going to get this lead. They're going to pound and pound. They're not going to let the back door open up. They're going to try to go out there and bust a cover off the ball on this thing. Bounce back revenge they needed. It's the best opportunity we got on the board here. I think the Cincinnati, great play. Again, fired up, rolling in the right time of year, coming in hot, despite a loss. And we're buying low and selling high, which is, It intersects all the plays that we like in this thing here. 8.5. I believe it's 8.5. Let me look. You can follow my action at BetStamp, Mikey Money. Minus 8.5, minus 105. Central Connecticut was minus 13. This has gone to 14, so I did get a little CLV. Put it in my little CLV trophy case. Set that fucker on fire because it doesn't matter. Let's roll Florida and Bama battle. There's two great SEC battles tonight. I think this is going to be a phenomenal game. Number 5, Florida. Probably going to win this game outright against number 7, Alabama. I'll explain myself here in a second. The Gators looking to chomp. Now, we faded the Gators against Georgia. And I kind of feel like this fits the opposite situation. This is the shoe on the other foot. 62% of the bets, only 55% of the cash are on the Gators. Hasn't moved. And the total's gone up 2 points, 176.5 to 178.5. 80% of the bets, 80% of the cash on the under, and it's gone up 2 points. So there's a little reverse movement. Now, I think that reverse movement is because, John Q. Public looks at this thing and says, well, shit, Bama's just an over team. Look what they just did that last game. Well, the last game was 79-76. The game they're thinking about was Mississippi State, where they put up 111 points. They should have. It was 174.5. However, 2 of the last 3 games have gone under the mark for this Bama team. Florida, 2-2. Florida had that loss to Georgia. Then they came out and they thumped Texas A&M. That was a perfect bounce back spot for Texas A&M. You go on the road, you just take that you covered everybody. You beat everybody up in the SEC. South Carolina, 88-67. Oklahoma, 85-63. LSU, 79-65. Then you go into Georgia and you get thumped. Probably lost a couple of your cheerleaders. Some girlfriends aren't taking their side buttoning you. It's ugly. Well, they go back home. They got a couple of days to stew on that loss. And they take down my potential dark horse in the tournament, Texas A&M. Then just take them down. They humiliated them 89-70. So they got it right. That's the best case scenario you could have for a team to come out there and fire against a team like Alabama. Oates and company, they want to score. Look, this is a tough spot. Both these teams have a shit ton of injuries. I feel like they're going to be a lot more scoreboard watching or more clock watching for Alabama. I mean, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the probable position. The entire offense is listed as probable. That's a problem. Probably, that's a problem. And they're ready to roll. I think that the problem that Alabama's going to have here, it's a lot harder to quantify it, but it's just a more balanced team. Offensively and defensively. Now, they're both hurt. I get that. When Florida's in the dog roll, they are 2-2 on the money line. When Bama's a favorite, they're 19-4. But look, Bama's been huge favorites. This is competition time here. This has got playoff tournament feel to it. This is March Madness feel to this game. And the other thing I like best about this spot where it comes to Florida, first of all, we're getting points. I took the 3.5, not the money line, because that's 2 baskets. That's free throws at the end, and the better free throw shooting team, to me, it's Florida. It's marginal, but I think in just about every opportunity that there's a margin, it leans slightly to the blue from the red. And I don't mean that as the State of the Union address. Florida in the dog spot. After they had 10 or more threes. So keep in mind, I just talked about the get right spot and thumping Texas A&M. After they get right and they find that 3, they're 7-0 to the under in the dog roll. That's lower scoring. And the entire Bama offense is fucked up in this game. Got to look at Florida. You got to take the 3.5. This is I do think that we've got a live dog alert, but I'm going to take me some Gators. I'm going to take that 3.5. I'm going to feel damn good about it. I just can't see this be a blowout situation. I just can't see it. Shout out to Keith in the house. There's my guy, AOD. Florida's not giving up 90 to Bama, 49th rank. I agree. I like that team total under for Bama. The other day, I had the Bama team total over in that game where they had 190 points. That one felt like it. This one doesn't. Sneaky Ninja. I don't think it does. Trisha M likes the Gators. Sneaky Ninja says good break. Well, thank you, man. Thank you. Sometimes I'm not entirely full of shit. I watch all these games. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a fun game though. Yeah, it does have the lower scoring feel to it. And the fact is that, you got the sharp bets coming in on it. I would say, let me double check one thing. No. The game I don't have on the board, I talked with this on the morning steam this morning. I'm all over this UT Martin Tennessee Tech under. We're starting to get some movement. I'm sorry I don't have a graphic for it. I forgot to put it in there. And then I got the Steam report or the Sharp report. I got to get it right. Sorry, Ramon. I got to get it right. The Sharp report came through. Sharp betting action. Must have been me and Ramon popping in on the under in that game. Watching these two teams. Now, I've lost a couple of these spots by the hook. So this is where I was talking to you guys like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, we're playing a bunch of these bullshit teams because we get the advantage. 7,100 tickets on this game, as opposed to some of these other games like that Florida game. 40,000 tickets. Yeah, we're going to carve out a little window. Long Island should kick the shit out of Chicago State. 4,600 tickets right in that thing. It's moved a point. Probably, I was auto betting the overs in that Chicago State game because of how bad they're. Central Connecticut, 4,400 tickets written. Yeah, those are the spots we want to get at. Then we look at this Tennessee Tech, 7,100, a little bit more in the game. I mean, it's a tournament game, but this line's come down 4 points. No split percentage here, so I'll have to go over to the alternate site. Let me go to the auxiliary site. Hang on. We got to be ready to go. We got to be ready to go. Let me find it. Oh, it's not going to give me. It's not going to give me the. 54% of the bets are on Tennessee Martin. 46% of the bets are on Tennessee Tech. It doesn't give me the splits for the totals. But it's coming down. I mean, 143.5 to 140.5 to 139.5. And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, these are mediocre teams in the middle of this conference right now. Overall, when you look at these two spots, they're both 500 spots to the totals. When Tennessee Martin's on the road, yep. They are 10-8 to the over, I guess. When Tennessee Tech's at home, they are 7-7. But look, Tennessee Martin comes in as the favorite, and Tennessee Martin dictates pace when they play ball. 3 straight unders in a row. They just played Tennessee Tech. It was 144.5. They relined this one lower than the last time they played them, and that game went under. That total was 137. You could pick up a 140.5. Overall, we got Tennessee Tech, the dog in this thing, has been letting games run to the over, but it's because they play teams like Western Illinois and they let them score 82 points. I think this thing just runs in the mill. Just keep it going the way it does. No need to get fancy. And the number's telling you what you need. The fact that this number's opening lower than it did the previous time around, and we're seeing that sharp action coming in because the sharp saw the same thing. You're opening this number up lower than the last time, and the last time it went under. Yeah, let's pound this under. Let's get it. Let's go with it. Sharp report out there. Tennessee Tech. We're going to take this under. I got 139.5 at minus 108. Where's the 140.5? In case you're looking to get, I'd love to get every point I could out of this thing. That's Caesars. We know Caesars API is fucked. Oh no, FanDuel. FanDuel's hanging at 140.5 now. And Pinnacle's sitting there at 140. The North Star and the dark at night is Pinnacle saying, hey, here's a 140. The numbers come down 3.5 points, and we know when Pinnacle's leading the charge, you want to follow suit. Blake says it's his hometown, but he's on the under. Hey, that's okay. Nasty Nate likes a little White and Pritchard. All right, let me roll. We're behind. Tennessee and Ole Miss. Let me start over here. No, let me go here. Let me go quick. Yesterday we were moving so quickly. Felt like I was floating like a butterfly. Number 4, Tennessee. Number nothing, Ole Miss. As we roll into this one, I still think this is going to be a good game too. Man, something came across my timeline today. Ole Miss is up the recruiting game. Let me say that. And this total's come down. Ole Miss finds themselves from plus 3.5 to plus 2.5 dogs at home. Do we have a wrong team favorite situation? I mean, you got number 4 ranked Tennessee coming into town. You should want to bust the barn doors off those boys. But the only way you're going to do that is by playing defense. This total, let's see, the 60% of the bets and 63% of the cash on Tennessee. It's gone from minus 3.5 down to minus 2. Reverse movement. Then you look at the total, it's gone from 137.5 to 139.5. We've got 52% of the bets and 54% of the cash on the under. I'll be quick because we got 2 NBA games to hit here for you guys. Spare all the hyperbole. Let's have some intersecting zeros. Tennessee finds themselves in a 19-0 to the under position with less than 5 days rest after a single-digit win. Dictating pace. Normal flow of the season, less than 5 days rest. Beat Alabama, and it went under. 79-76. You think they're going to drop their guard for this Ole Miss team? Even if they do, Ole Miss finds themselves 12-0 to the under as a single-digit dog when the total's less than a 140 after they were favorites of 3 or more. And those games are going under by over 12 points a clip. I jumped in. I'm in. Give me the under. Keep it simple. Keep it rolling. I don't know where we lost a few minutes in there, but we'll get them. We'll make them up. We will make them up right now. I'm taking the Portland Trail Blazers for 2 reasons. One, until they lose to an Eastern Conference team, I'm not going to change. They're looking for their 13th in a row now against the Eastern Conference. We wrote it the other day. We're going to ride it again. It's also got from 10.5 to 10s, now 9.5. So even as we're getting closer to tip, the money's still coming in. 60% of the bets, only 49% of the cash on the Celtics. Pretty split from the bigger betting perspective, but they want the points. And the totals come down from 225 to 224. You got 92% of the bets and 89% of the cash on the over. Playing at the Garden should be a big deal. Portland should be fired up for this thing. 18-13-1 is Portland against the spread on the road. Boston finds themselves 12-18. The other side of things, why? Well, Boston just beat Denver. 110-103. What happens after they win? They lose. And they lose a lot. Let's take them. They can't back shit up for shit. They already got their opportunity out there. They beat Denver. They lost to Cleveland. They're going to take it on the chin here. I don't know if the wrong team's favorite, but 10 points is a lot for a team that's going for 13-0 against the Eastern Conference. You've heard me say it. Teams are built to match up against their conference, and when you find those anomalies where they have a monster run going, it shows you there's either a size or a positional something is skewed to the advantage of that Portland Trailblazers team here with the consistency of either that or teams just don't care. Could just be they're so irrelevant. Eastern Conference teams can care less about non-conference throwaway games against Portland Trailblazers. But either way, 10 points is a lot of points. We're going to take them. We're going to run with them. Then we got the T-Wolves and the Hornets. And Ramon broke some news for us in this one. This went from 8.5 to 9. 76% of the bets, 69% of the cash on the Timberwolves. The line hadn't moved all day. So the player news is what's adjusted this line. Total's gone up significantly from 221.5 to 227. 71% of the bets, 67% of the cash on the over. And it's gone up. Big time. Big jump on this over. Look, the Hornets stink. Close your nose. This one don't feel good, but it's going to feel good when we cash because it's a lot of points, and I'm taking these Hornets. I'll tell you why. First of all, you got 3-2 at the Timberwolves in their last 5 games. Philadelphia. They were at home. It was 126-112. They were laying 13.5. They barely snuck that thing out. And the Hornets 1-4 against the spread in their last 5. Boy, that loss. They were laying 3.5 to Washington, and it was 113-110. Then they had no favors because they had Golden State come back in it down and bust them up 119-101. But they're on their 3rd straight home game. So we got a little momentum. We got a little Uncle Mo coming at home. And look, this is a fade on the Minnesota spot. Minnesota 0-9 in the regular season after they had 4 or more turnovers than their opponent the previous game. And the opponent they're playing has rest. It's 1 day's rest, but they won a sloppy battle against Philadelphia. Good for them. Good on them. There was really no reason to believe that Philadelphia was going to win that game anyways. We're going to take the points. We're going to lay it down there, and we're going to put the bow on the show with the Charlotte Hornets. Ugly as it goes. I know. And it doesn't feel good. Nate says, no KP and Tatum is KP. Tatum's a bitch, dude. And look, Tatum out. Blake says, falls first half for him. Shot to Flea, Mathis. Nasty Nate does like White and Pritchard over 3. See, when Nasty Nate's kicking on the props, he does like the Celtics second quarter. Okay. That's going to be the way we put the bow on the show, boys and girls. Keep your notifications on. I probably will have a couple of spots for later tonight, but we're pretty heavy action early. So as some lines move, as we see some plays come down the pike, we will look to get some additional opportunities out there if they make sense. So get those notifications on. Follow us at Sports Money Wins over on X. You don't want to miss it when these plays drop. You know there's a bunch of plays out there. We got the overnight action with Dan from Down Under and the National Rugby League. So make sure you guys do hit the thumbs up on these videos for us. If you notice, I started responding to it. Just backed up on a bunch of comments here. But that helps us a ton. We want to get in the algorithm. We're putting time and effort together for this stuff. If you could just kindly go in there, put the webpage on, put it on mute if you want to, and just hit the thumbs up button for us. But listen all the way through. Show the support, show the love, and we'll be back to do it again. So on behalf of the Sports Money crew, thank you guys for watching us tonight. Good luck with your bets, and we'll be back tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. with the morning steam.